Have you ever wondered why some incredibly independent and remarkable women seem to walk through life alone? As philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "It's not a lack of love but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages." This idea really resonates with Sigma females, women who embody independence and strength but often don't fit into traditional social circles. Their solitude isn't because they don't want connections. It's more about the unique challenges they face in a world that often misunderstands them. Today, let's dive into why Sigma females, despite their impressive qualities, frequently find themselves navigating life solo. Let's get started. Number 1. Cautious of people who get too close, too quick. Sigma females are a lot like advanced radar systems. When someone tries to get too close too quickly, their alarms go off. It's not just a casual, "Oh, maybe they're friendly." It's more like, what do they want? Are they trying to manipulate me? Do they have an agenda? They have an incredible knack for sensing hidden motives, which makes them super cautious. Imagine someone eagerly trying to befriend them, showering them with attention and invites. While most people might think, how nice, they want to be friends, a Sigma female is likely thinking, why the sudden interest? Are they trying to pull me into something? This skepticism serves as a strong defense mechanism. They've encountered too many people with hidden agendas, so they prefer to keep their distance until someone proves they're genuinely trustworthy. Their wariness means they often keep potential friends at arm's length. It's not that they don't want friends, they just want the right ones. They're not interested in dealing with someone who's overly clingy or has ulterior motives. So, they tend to vet people thoroughly, sometimes too much, which can scare off even those with good intentions. Their cautious nature is like having an invisible moat filled with crocodiles around them. People can try to cross, but it's going to take a lot of effort and time to prove they're worth it. In the meantime, the Sigma female is probably enjoying a good book or plotting their next big move. Solo, of course. Number 2. Even your own family may not have your best interest at heart. Sigma females have a very straightforward view on family. Just because someone shares your DNA doesn't mean they're always on your side. They've probably learned the hard way that some family members can act more like frenemies. Sure, Aunt Karen says she's looking out for you, but she's also the first to criticize your choices at the family dinner. Sigma females are well aware of the complexities in family dynamics. They know that some relatives offer support with a side of guilt-tripping or unsolicited advice. For example, Uncle Bob's career tips often feel more like him trying to live vicariously through you than genuinely caring about your goals. Sigma females have a sharp sense for these subtleties and can easily read between the lines when a family member says, "I just want what's best for you." More often than not, it really means I want what's best for you as long as it aligns with what I think is right. This awareness makes them cautious about relying on family for support. They'd rather handle things on their own than deal with conditional love or passive-aggressive comments. They're also no strangers to the fact that family drama can be the worst kind of drama. Who needs soap operas when you've got family gatherings, right? Sigma females prefer to sidestep these potential pitfalls by keeping a polite but firm distance. It's not that they don't love their family, they just don't want to get caught up in the chaos. They'd rather spend their time in their own fortress of solitude than navigate the minefield of family politics. Number 3. Sigma females avoid drama at all costs. If drama were a person, it would be that loud, obnoxious guest nobody invited to the party. Sigma females would be the ones quietly slipping out the back door as soon as drama shows up, drink in hand. They know that engaging in drama is a waste of energy that could be better spent on something productive like learning a new skill or enjoying some peaceful downtime. They've seen firsthand how drama can turn simple situations into chaotic messes. A minor misunderstanding can quickly spiral into a full-blown soap opera with alliances, betrayals, and over-the-top emotions. Sigma females want nothing to do with that. Their motto could easily be, save the drama for someone else, because they simply aren't interested. They've also noticed that drama tends to follow certain people around like moths to a flame. These drama magnets carry a cloud of chaos wherever they go, and Sigma females give them a wide berth. They can sense trouble coming from a mile away and choose a different route, even if it means taking the long way around. It's not that they don't care about people or their problems. They just prefer a straightforward, no-nonsense approach to life. They'd rather address issues directly and calmly than get dragged into a vortex of pettiness and conflict. When faced with potential drama, they quickly figure out the best way to sidestep it, like a ninja avoiding a booby trap. This strategy keeps their lives relatively peaceful and stress-free, which is exactly how they like it. If you're enjoying our deep dive into Sigma females, please hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and share this video with anyone who might find it interesting. Your support helps us keep the conversation going and brings more great content your way. Thanks for being a part of our community. Number 4. No need for friends, or just 2 or 3 can be considered friends for a Sigma. Sigma females don't need friends in the traditional sense, and that can be confusing for a lot of people. While others are busy collecting friendships like Pokemon cards, Sigma females are perfectly content flying solo. Their independence is on another level, and they genuinely enjoy their own company. Imagine someone who can spend an entire weekend alone and have the time of their life, with no friends needed. They'd rather spend a quiet evening reading a book or working on a hobby than attending a crowded social event. It's not that they're antisocial. They just have different priorities. They get their energy from within, not from being around others. Friends are nice to have, but they aren't essential. This self-sufficiency can baffle people who often equate friendship with happiness. For Sigma females, happiness comes from personal achievements and inner peace. They don't need to be surrounded by people to feel validated or whole. In fact, the idea of forced socializing might make them roll their eyes. It's not that they don't appreciate good company. They just don't rely on it to feel fulfilled. Many mistake this independence for loneliness, but Sigma females see it as freedom. They're free from the drama and demands that come with juggling multiple friendships. They don't have to worry about social obligations or keeping up with the latest gossip. They march to the beat of their own drum, and if that means doing it alone, so be it. They wouldn't have it any other way. Number 5. Their private nature is intimidating. Sigma females and privacy go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. To everyone else, their private nature can seem like a do not disturb sign that's never flipped. They have a knack for keeping their lives under wraps, which can be pretty intimidating. Imagine trying to get to know someone who keeps their cards so close, it feels like they're playing poker with an invisible deck. People often find it hard to connect with Sigma females because they reveal so little about themselves. It's not just being reserved, it's like they're playing a game of secrecy. They're like those mysterious characters in movies who have a shadowy backstory and tend to vanish just when you think you're getting close. For the average person, getting to know a Sigma female can feel like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube in the dark. Their private nature can make others feel like they're intruding just by asking basic questions. So, asking, "What do you do for fun?" might get a vague smile and an answer that reveals nothing. It's not that they're unfriendly, they're just experts at deflecting personal questions. This level of privacy can be off-putting because most people expect some openness to build a connection. Plus, their reserved demeanor is often misread as aloofness or arrogance. People might think they're too good for everyone else when, in reality, they just value their inner world more than small talk. It's like they have an exclusive VIP club in their mind, and entry is by invitation only. This can be intimidating and make others feel like they'll never be part of that inner circle, causing them to back off before they even get close. At number 6. They aren't desperate for company. Sigma females aren't desperate for company, which can be confusing for people who thrive on social interactions. While others are busy swiping through dating apps or planning brunch meetups, Sigma females are perfectly fine doing their own thing. They're like cats in a world full of dogs, happy with a good nap and some alone time rather than chasing after the next social event. Their relaxed attitude toward company can sometimes be mistaken for indifference or snobbery. The truth is, they don't need others to validate their existence. They're not trying to fill a social quota or combat loneliness. They have their own interests and passions that keep them engaged and satisfied. Spending a Friday night working on a personal project or binge-watching a favorite series sounds way more appealing to them than making small talk at a party. This mindset makes them very selective about the company they keep. They won't hang out with just anyone for the sake of it. If they choose to spend time with you, it's because they genuinely enjoy your presence, not because they're bored or need a distraction. Their social circle might be small, but it's filled with meaningful connections. For Sigma females, the idea of being desperate for company is almost laughable. They'd rather enjoy meaningful solitude than force themselves into social situations that don't add value to their lives. If that means spending more time alone, they're perfectly okay with it. In their view, desperation for company just shows that you haven't figured out how to enjoy your own company. Number 7. Fundamental loneliness. Despite their strong, independent exterior, Sigma females often deal with a deep sense of loneliness. It's not about being physically alone. It's more about feeling different and misunderstood. They're like rare books in a sea of paperbacks, unique and valuable, but not easily appreciated by most. This loneliness comes from their distinct way of thinking and experiencing the world. They often find that their thoughts and interests are worlds apart from those of the people around them. While others might be chatting about the latest reality TV drama, Sigma females could be pondering deeper questions or working on a personal project. This intellectual and emotional gap makes it hard for them to find people who truly understand them. Even when they're surrounded by others, they can still feel isolated. It's not that they can't join in on regular conversations, they just find them unfulfilling. The small talk and superficial connections that many people thrive on often leave them feeling even more alone. They crave depth and authenticity in their interactions, which can be hard to find. Their loneliness is also tied to their high standards for relationships. They'd rather be alone than settle for shallow connections. This means they might have fewer friends, but the ones they do have are deeply meaningful. However, finding these connections can be tough, which adds to their sense of isolation. To cope, Sigma females often turn inward, finding comfort in their own company and interests. They become experts at self-reliance, keeping themselves entertained and fulfilled. But even with this self-sufficiency, the feeling of being fundamentally different lingers. It's a paradox. They're comfortable being alone, yet they yearn for a connection that goes beyond the surface. Number 8. Most people cannot relate to Sigma female level of intellect. Sigma females often operate on a different intellectual level than most people, making it tough to find relatable company. Their curiosity and depth of thought set them apart, and not everyone can keep up. They might dive into a deep discussion about quantum physics while everyone else at the party debates reality TV. It's not that they're being snobby, they just naturally lean toward conversations that stimulate their minds. This can make small talk feel tedious. Imagine trying to chat about the latest celebrity gossip with someone who's more interested in analyzing the impact of artificial intelligence on society. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. This gap often leaves Sigma females feeling disconnected from those around them. When they do find someone who can keep up, it feels like striking gold, but those moments are rare, and they often sift through a lot of noise to find meaningful connections. In the meantime, they might come off as distant or aloof because they're not willing to dumb down their thoughts just to fit in. Their sharp minds also mean they can see through superficiality and pretense easily. They have little patience for fake personas or shallow interactions, which further narrows their potential friend pool. Most people can't handle that level of raw, unfiltered intellect all the time, and that's fine with them. They'd rather be alone with their thoughts than be around people who don't get them. So while their intellect is a major strength, it also makes it hard to find kindred spirits. Until that happens, they're perfectly content with their own company, deep thoughts, and the occasional eye roll at the latest pop culture trends. Number 9. Risk of dilution of identity. Sigma females often have a very clear sense of who they are and what they stand for. They have a strong, unique identity that they've carefully developed over time. Because of this, they might avoid friendships that they feel could dilute or compromise their individuality and personal values. Imagine someone who's really clear about their principles, passions, and life goals. They've spent a lot of time figuring out what matters most to them, and they're protective of this sense of self. When they meet new people or consider new friendships, they think about whether these relationships will fit with their established identity. If they sense that being friends with someone might pressure them to change who they are or to compromise their values, they might choose to keep their distance. For Sigma females, friendships aren't just about having someone to hang out with. They're about finding connections that resonate deeply with their personal beliefs and way of life. If they feel that a potential friend might lead them away from their true self or push them into situations that don't align with their values, they're likely to step back. This doesn't mean they're not open to meeting new people or forming relationships. It just means they're selective. They want to ensure that any friendships they build will support and enhance their sense of self, rather than causing them to question or weaken it. For Sigma females, maintaining their strong sense of identity is crucial, so they carefully navigate their social interactions to protect their personal ethos. In conclusion, Sigma females are a true example of independence, intelligence, and a unique approach to life that sets them apart. Even though they face challenges in making conventional social connections, their strength lies in thriving on their own terms. As we've explored their journey, it's clear that their solitude isn't a weakness. It's a choice to focus on authenticity and personal growth. Whether you're a Sigma female finding your way or just intrigued by their fascinating perspective, remember to embrace your individuality and value the connections that genuinely resonate with you. Let's celebrate the resilience and strength of Sigma females as they shape a world where uniqueness is recognized and appreciated.